Hi, this is Selena with Practical Product Reviews, and what I've got in front of me is the PKAIRFR20 Nutrichef electric fryer. It does come with a recipe book which has a few recipes to get you started with air frying. Now, in case you're not familiar with how an air fryer works, what actually happens is the air fryer, with your ingredients in the pan, will take the natural oils and fat that are in the food, such as the chicken that we're going to be cooking, uses the oil from the food to cook the food, and that makes it more crispy and eliminates a lot of the fat in the food. So the end result is that you have a healthier, less fat, and more lean dish to enjoy. Here is where we set our timer. It does go up to 60 minutes maximum. Here we have our temperature control switch. Other important components are the air intake, which is what actually allows it to work and function like a convection oven. You need to make sure this area stays clear enough so you have ample room for it not to burn anything, and especially to stay away from small children. Here is our fry basket. By pushing the lever in, it slides out. And inside, you see that there is a divider in the actual basket itself. Now, I can reach in, remove this divider to cook one single recipe, or putting the slider back in, I can cook something like, say, fried zucchini on one side and fried mushrooms on another, or something like fried chicken here and French fries here. By pushing this button here, I can release the basket and have my food here, and inside is my actual frying pan. That is where the oil that comes from the food will be dispensed. Cleaning it is all the more simple. When you're finished, you simply remove the basket, which is dishwasher safe. However, anything like this, I will personally hand wash. Your oil will be in here, and this is a non-stick coating, so you need to be careful not to use any harsh substances on it, or metal especially. However, general soap and water and a dish rag will suffice. You'll wipe out the oil and it'll be good to go. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use the fried chicken recipe out of the Nutrichef recipe book. So I'll remove this. While I have my chicken ready, I do need to go ahead and preheat the air fryer as I would any oven. So I'm going to go ahead and reinsert the basket and preheat this to 400. However, the timer is actually what controls the power. So, in order to initiate it, I'm just turning it to 60. I'll adjust the time appropriately and according to the directions for the recipe for the chicken. And once the light that says heating will go off, we'll know that the air fryer is preheated and the chicken will be ready to go into the basket. There is a wind noise, which is from the air intake in the back where the air is going in, and it will circulate down to the bottom, which will again act as a convection. Now I can see the light has come off, so what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and get my chicken into the basket. I'll leave it on. Remove the basket, add my chicken, and this I've breaded with simple breadcrumbs and of course some seasoning. Now it is hot in here, so you do want to be careful because again it did preheat. Now that the chicken is in the basket. I'm simply going to close the basket back. As you can see, the power comes on. It begins heating again. Now this recipe for this chicken does call for it to be at 400 degrees. And because my chicken is bigger than the one in the recipe book, I'm going to do it for 12 minutes instead of 10. And once that goes off, I will readjust this to 300 for temperature and run it for another 12 minutes. Now that the time is up at 400 degrees, I'm going to go ahead and move it to about 300, which is going to be right about there. Turn it on for another 12 minutes. The fact that the heating light has turned off does let me know that it is cooking at the appropriate temperature. And as you can see, there's only about 1 minute left. Now that it's beeped, we know that the chicken drumsticks are ready. Now that our timer is done, I'm going to go ahead and remove the chicken. We'll take a peek. And here we have nice, pretty fried chicken. We go ahead, check the internal temperature. Now again, I did cook this longer than I should have, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does read higher than expected, which should be for poultry 165. And it's dropping right now, so we're at about 181. But again, that's not necessarily the fault of the unit, but rather my own. Now to remove it again from the basket, I simply push this button here at the bottom. That's what I'll wash off in the dishwasher. And down here is any leftover grease and oil that came out of the chicken. So that's it, and it will be bon appetit for me and my boys here shortly. I thank you, and I hope that you have a great evening.